Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the highlights of the OBC. But before we go into those highlights, grails, rare, original pressings, let me just tell you that we finally have implemented the search function at the OBC shop. You will find a link in the video description down below to the OBC shop, and it's an easy to find thing. Just go to the looking glass, the search function, open it, and then you have a free search, meaning you can put up or put in a label, an artist, a genre, and then it shows you the items. Of course, this is still a work in progress, and we will get more difficile by the time, but it works quite good in my opinion. It would be nice if you give us a little review if you used it, if you have the time. And what of course still is there, and we keep it there, is this simple filter on the upper left side, where you just have to click in the checkbox, and then you only see the in-stock items and not the items that are already sold. So try out the new search function. It should work quite good at your end. Okay, but now of course let's get into the highlights of the OBC, the records I put out for this episode. Yeah, and let's start with one of the most impressive ones that has been in the OBC or at the OBC so far. I had the huge pleasure to listen to it, to check it, and we have a first mono pressing of one of the most important, one of my favorite Blue Note releases of all time. We have it in a pristine condition, in an amazing condition, this mono first pressing. And yeah, talking, as you could see, of course, when you see this all-time classic cover art, we have Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch. And I could compare it to the stereo first pressing, and in my opinion, for my taste, the mono is not only the way more rare record to my knowledge, it's also the one to go. This is so direct to the face. This is an amazing record with Freddie Hubbard on the trumpet, Eric Dolphy on the alto sax, the flute and the bass, clarinet. We have Bobby Hutcherson on the vibes, Richard Davis on the bass, and Anthony Williams on the drums. An all-time classic, one of the most important jazz records. It's a breathtaking. It's not an easy listening, as most of you probably know, but wow, killer. And having this record in this condition is really quite something. I mean, I can show you. Here you have the record. This is not too bad, right? I don't see any flaws. It plays unbelievable, and yeah, that's, in my opinion, really quite something. And of course, I'm very pleased and proud that we can offer this at the OBC shop. Thomas Busk put it in the shop, and yeah, that's really tempting, and really quite something. Wow. Okay, that's the highlight. It doesn't get all along with all those records, but still we have more of this great records. Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch, I think 1964 if I'm not mistaken. And now let's still a Blue Note original. Next one is an original too, but we are going back to 1957, and we have this hard bop classic from Hank Mobley and his All-Stars, with Hank Mobley, tenor sax, Milt Jackson on the vibes, Horace Silver on the piano, Doug Watkins on the bass, and Art Blakey on the drums. Also in a good condition, not in such a condition, not in the out to lunch condition. I think you cannot expect that. This is really quite something to find it in this condition, but still in a decent, good condition. And I mean, 1957, this is 43, 60, 67 years. Oh my God. This record is luckily way older than me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Blue Note 1544. Original first US pressing. For sure a highlight, at least at the OBC. And yeah, quite pleased to see also some Blue Note originals in the shop. You don't see them. You don't see them too often, especially not in this condition. Okay, now let's move forward. Also move forward in time. Quite a couple of years later, Leon Ware put out Musical Message, 1976. We have this beautiful, beautiful soul funk album. It's opened here. It's not a sealed copy, but the jacket art, huh? The jacket art. Wonderful funk soul classic by Leon Ware. Amazing sounding record. Really lovely. I show you the record on the Gordy label. Here we go. Wonderful copy yet again. And yeah, this uplifting, nice, beautiful funk soul Leon Ware. Great one, great one. Musical Message. If you are into soul, that might be something for you. And for the condition, and if you consider that it's still in its original shrink, price is, I was surprised. Look it up. Very interesting, very good record. Now again for something really special and extremely rare. We are going now to Scandinavia again. And Thomas played this at the Wall of Records. I'm talking about Savage Rose, Dodens Triumph. In a gatefold record. And what's so special about this release is that it is one of those extremely rare 2-disc editions. So the whole ballet. This is music for a ballet, and this is the complete edition, which is really, really rare. Came out in 1979, and yeah, it's rock stage art music. Very interesting, very beautiful. As I said, Thomas played something on a Wall of Records stream. So very interesting record. I really can recommend that you get into the music. This is a beautiful, beautiful record, and in this release, very, 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 very rare from Scandinavia. As I said, it came out in 1979, and yeah, rock, stage rock, prog rock, quite an amazing piece of music. But I have to put it a little bit up here so that there is no accident. Excuse me for the interruption, but better safe than sorry. Let's move forward even more and go to the year 2000. And that was the time, 2000, where vinyl wasn't that huge, right? But they made great music, and one of those bands who did great music was Moloko. And what I have here is Things to Make and Do. This is, let me get it out. Okay, here we are. A beautiful, beautiful double album. As I said, Moloko, 2000. It came out, wonderful double album. Show you the vinyl in a pristine condition again. And yeah, this is this kind of music that gets more and more difficult to get this electronic house, trip-hop kind of thing. You don't see them that often. This is not an extraordinary expensive record, but a great record. And I think now is the time to get those, and I think we should get deeper and deeper into this kind of music, because, as I said, they are rare. You don't see them too often, but most of them are still doable, like this one. So really an interesting thing, Moloko things to make and do if you're into this kind of trip-hop, electronic. This is for sure your thing. Okay, a little step back in time. A big one. 1959. And we are on the home turf again of Thomas Busk. It's Denmark, but not only locally, also when it comes to the music. And this record is so Thomas Busk musically and culturally. We have this wonderful jazz record, and also from this one, Thomas played a few tracks, and wow, breathtaking, wonderful jazz music from Denmark. We have the Poll winner, 59. We have Bent Exen on the piano, Alan Baczynski on the trumpet, Eric Moserholm on bass, Bjarne Rostvold on drums. Sorry for butchering the names because my Danish is a little rusty, but I hope it was okay. Show you the label and show you the record. A wonderful jazz record, wonderful. You know, these Danish pressings, a lot of us know by now that they are really, really, really quite something. And this is an extremely rare, wonderful jazz record from 1959 from Denmark, and yeah, a highlight in every collection I can imagine. And extremely, once more, extremely difficult to get. Let me put this back, please, and then I go to the next one. Now we go a little out there, but still very interesting record. We're talking about, I have to read this because I always forget this guy, Michel Estelle-Brun und Gérard Berlioz. We have pop organ and percussion. Quite out there, contemporary, experimental, prog rock, classical, hard to describe, impossible to describe, but extremely interesting, not easy, I have to give you that, but also not easy to find, and not such an expensive, yet very, 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 very interesting record. Surprisingly, on the Atlantic label. But I'm 99.9% sure that we won't see this record at the Atlantic 75 series. Listen to it and then you know why. But that doesn't mean that this isn't an amazing record for people who like music that is a little bit out there. Really something. Try it. Do yourself a treat. This one is in a VG Plus condition. Brilliant. Brilliant. Never heard of this record. And again, this is what I also like when it comes to the wall of records and also to the OBC shop. And I think we should do this way more and way regularly. Last week I had this moment again when Thomas put up this Vertigo record. I have never heard of it. I said, yeah, Michael, but this is in the OBC, and it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Quite some of those records really need some curation for people like me who are not into this kind of stuff since 80 years. And of course, I try to fill in this gap for me, for me too, to listen to those records, to learn about this record, and then share my impressions and the things I found out and the things I think about. So, this one was out there. And now we are getting crazy. Now it's getting crazy, but in an, again, very, very, very interesting manner. What we have here is art music. For example, one of the most famous art records, in my opinion, at least here in this area, is Joseph Beuys' Piss Off. This is on the frontier of music, and we are talking about Roth and Reiner, Dieter Roth and Arnulf Reiner. Misch- und Trennkunst. Some people do art music. Two guys are doing art music. Really out there, really interesting. You haven't heard anything like that. And of course, it's easy to say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But there are a lot of people who like this. I talked to a guy 2 years ago who has an unbelievable collection of only of those art music. Konrad Schnitzler, Joseph Beuys, there are quite some out there. Nam June Paik, he also did records. And this is one of these interesting and in one of a kind art records. Dieter Roth, Arnulf Reiner, Misch- und Trennkunst. This is quite something and interesting to listen to it, at least for once. Try it out. And there are a lot of collectors and people out there who just loves this. They really love it, and this is a very rare record. A very rare record. Let's close this video with an incredible, lovely record I have never heard of. Thomas, of course, knew it. He got it. He put it up at the OBC. Again, jazz. Late 60s, 1968. It's a record from Norway. Karin Krog and friends. Joy. Okay, I tell you now who the friends are. And I can imagine that some of you say, oh, the friends are Jan Gabarek, Terje Björklund, Arild Andersen, Palle Danielsen, Svein Christensen und Espen Ruud. So, that are quite some friends. Early record, 1968, Modal jazz. She sings lovely and wonderful and amazing again, and an amazing record. Yeah, of course, you know, I pick up the highlights, the rare stuff, the interesting stuff, the stuff I didn't know. Of course, I don't pick up the Dire Straits, which you also find in the OBC, or nothing against those records, but that's why I'm always wow, because they are wow. And I have never ever seen a copy of this. Unbelievable. And when you listen to it, the quality of the ensemble, the quality of the recording, the way she sings, this is really quite something. And of course, a wonderful way of learning things, getting into things, looking left and right into the stuff that at least me haven't heard before and would not have heard of if it wasn't for Thomas Busk in my case. And this is an amazing and really interesting journey. And yeah, dig through the records. We have over 1800 records now in stock. such amazing records, so many records. I really have to get into, learn about them, and maybe you love this like I do, and discover new things, discover things I haven't heard of. Or, of course, I have heard about Out to Lunch, but having it in my hands, can see it, touch it, smell it, and listen to it, that was a little adventure. Okay, enough said. I will do this now regularly again, now that it's winter time. And I still, and again, thank you for your time. You know, this is not just a phrase. I know this is time you spend and listen to me. And I really appreciate and honor that. So that's why I always say that, because this is, yeah, in a way, the most valuable thing you can give, time. So honest thanks for listening to me and taking your time. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.